Hello everyone, and welcome to the first match of the semifinals of Genshin Ranked Season 4. I'm your host for today, Johnny AC, and I'm here together with Eliza to cast the game.
Hello and welcome. Johnny, how are you feeling about this match? I'm so excited. These are two of probably our best teams this season, facing off in the semifinals, and only one of them is going to be moving on to finals. How do you feel?
I am very excited for this game, actually. This is like the first time I'm going to be watching a match between two very competent teams. We know that these teams have a lot of experience with the game. They practice a lot, and I'm expecting a lot from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Reminder that this game, TGT versus BLG, will actually be a rematch because these teams faced off last season and one of them went on to finals to win. That was BLG. And TGT was sent to the third place match where they placed fourth. So we get to see this week, will the outcome stay the same? Will TGT go on to third place and BLG move on to finals once again? Or will TGT get their revenge? Let's move on and explain the rules. All right. So ranked is basically a co-op experience. You have 3-player teams, 3 people play at once, and then there's a substitute player. You use, 4 accounts, and it consists of a draft phase where teams alternate boss picks, and you have a character pick ban phase. There is a 6-boss draft. There are 2 halves. It's a best of 2. Individual times will count for boss wins, and refs will frame count the difference. And then play as either team 1 or team 2, and then they switch sides at halftime, and players may sub out, and the first team to 7 wins, or if both teams get 6 wins, then they go to overtime on Aeon Blight Drake, but the first team to 7 wins takes the championship of this match. Now we can talk about the bracket. All right, so yeah, we're here at the semifinals match. I guess we can talk about the previous matchups for each team. Johnny, you got to...
Yeah, the BLG match did not really go according to our expectations. We knew they were a very powerful team, and we tried our best, but even then they triumphed and completely cleared us 7 bosses to 0. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what they're gonna do against more experienced teams, if they're gonna keep the pressure coming, or if they're gonna maybe slip up a bit and do some mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
BLG was... Sorry, go on. I was just going to say that BLG also, basically completely steamrolled my team when we were in Swiss, when we faced off against them in Swiss. So I've had a very similar experience to you guys, and BLG does kind of have, a reputation for doing that, especially because they draft pretty competitive bosses. Anyways, let's talk about TGT.
Yeah, TGT, on the other hand, I haven't really watched any of their previous Swiss games, but I know that they have a lot of knowledge about Genshin Ranked, about team workings, about what teams work, what teams don't work, how to prioritize stuff in draft, how to prioritize the bosses. I know they also have a lot of knowledge. I haven't played them firsthand, but I know they can be a pretty scary team if they get the upper hand.
Yeah, absolutely. My team faced off against TGT. My team is Pixel. My team faced off against TGT and Swiss, and it was an extremely close match. They are a very competitive team. They get some insane DPS times. Their match against Ruby was actually relatively close here, but they did take away the win. So I definitely I could see BLG pulling out on top with this match, but I don't know. What do you think?
I have to say, 2 pretty strong teams. It's very hard to decide the outcome of this match before looking at the draft first.
That's true.
I tend to say that TGT is a very solid and fundamental team. They have a lot of knowledge and they know how to apply that knowledge to the game. BLG, however, seems like a very safe team. They play very safely. They draft things that they know that work and that they can make work. So it will all come down if TGT can surprise BLG and can pick something out of the box, or if BLG can just play to their strengths and dominate the game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move forward and introduce each team. Johnny, you can go ahead and introduce our lower seed, TGT.
Okay, starting with the captain of the team, TGT Day. Day is, his signature character is Arlecchino. He has been playing the game for a little bit over half a year. He has been playing Genshin almost since release, and he has some previous experience with speedruns, mainly with Hu Tao and Child International teams. Next on, we're going to talk about TGT Foster, with the signature units being Hu Tao and Mualani. We can see both of these players have an above 70% win rate, so they have a lot of knowledge about the game. Also, has been playing ranked for almost a year, 11 months. He has been playing Genshin since release and has previous experience on doing some speedruns, Abyss PvP, and some Stygian Onslaught PvP. Some very interesting information about these two players, that they are pretty much like a madness of a duo. They dominate casual games pretty frequently, especially versus other NA players and EU players.
Oh yeah, I know that
yeah.
Day and Foster have occasionally been called in, a pair with a third NA player, the ranked Avengers in casual. They are a very, very strong, very terrifying duo, and they work very well together.
Yeah. If you play a casual match during the middle of the day, chances are you are probably gonna get at least one of them in queue.
Absolutely.
Next, we're gonna talk about Mina with her signature Nahida with 67% win rate. Has been playing Genshin ranked for half a year pretty much. Has been playing Genshin since almost release as well, and has some some competitive experience with Abyss PvP previously. We also have TGT Hope on her signature Varessa with 100% win rate. Has been playing for as much time as Mina has, for about half a year. Has also been playing Genshin since pretty early on, since version 1.2, and doesn't have any previous competitive experience in Genshin scene.
Yeah. All right.
Overall, win
yeah.
rates
What do you think?
pretty high for this team.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
They're very strong. Just looking at win rates and at their signature characters, they look pretty menacing.
Yeah, and having such a high win rate of like 76%, 72%, if you look at how many games Day and Foster have, that is an insane amount of games to have such a high win rate on. It's very, very impressive. You can tell that this team, especially those two, but this team really queues a lot because of how high their win rate is.
Yeah, if you look at Foster having like 65 games on his record, 65. That's an insane amount of games.
That is so crazy.
And still keeping a very high above 70% win rate.
Yeah. All right. I think we can move on to BLG now. Okay, so BLG stands for the Balatro Gamblers. BLG is a team that features two members who are actually the creators of Ranked. That is Cuddles and Rion. So Rion's signature unit is Clorend, and she's been playing Ranked since 1.x, and she has a lot of competitive experience, including BRT and Co-op Wars, some Abyss and Stygian Onslaught PvP, and she is a Tartaglia main. Then we have Cuddles. Cuddles' signature unit is Bennett. He has been playing Genshin since 1.0, and he has experience in Amber tournaments. He's also an Amber main, BRT, Co-op Wars, Stygian Onslaught. He is known as the #1 support bot, and his account is very, very support-oriented. He does a lot of optimization for supports, and especially Bennett. And then moving on, we have Swazi. Swazi is known for his Knight and Yelan. As you can see, Yelan is his signature unit. His Knight is not to be underestimated. Apparently, he can get 6 cannon shots, which is very, very difficult. Swazi has played ranked since season 2, where he actually placed second with his team at the time, VSG. So this team also has experience making it all the way to finals, and he's got experience in Abyss PvP. He's been playing ranked since 1.0. And finally, we have Lin. Lin is known for his Linny, Nahida, and Mawika. He's been playing since season 2 in ranked and 2.6 for Genshin. He has also experience with Abyss PvP and some speedrunning for fun. Now, if you look at this team, they definitely have a lot of experience in other, like, tryharding. They also went 4-0 in Swiss. That's very impressive. They beat all of their other matchups, including my team, who is on the other side of the bracket. They completely steamrolled us 6-1. As you can see, most of their matches here were not close. They've got a 7-0 against SOL, a 5-2 against GM21, a 5-2 against TSS, and a 6-1 against PXL. But you'll notice, yeah?
I gotta add that, like, even the matches that they go to retry on, like, most of the times they just leave the opposing team without any viable retry. So
yeah,
it's very solid games across the board. Even
absolutely.
if they look like it's a close game because it goes to 4-3 and teams get a retry, oftentimes it's just an easy win for BLG at that point.
Yeah, they've steamrolled most of their matchups, but if you'll notice, something that I wanted to mention was their win rates are quite a lot lower than TGT, and they also tend to have less games on their main characters. So as much as BLG is a wonderful game, I do notice that it doesn't seem that they queue quite as much, especially since they've been playing much longer than some of the members of TGT. So I do wonder if in this match, maybe we'll see TGT cook something that's really, cutting edge, really new, that BLG won't even know about, and they can get the better of such a scary team like BLG just by being innovative and by being so engaged with the current queue meta. All right, I think we can move on here to the coin flip.
Okay. So now we will do the coin flip to see who gets to decide the first side. BLG picks tails. Or I guess heads. Yes, BLG picks heads. We get tails, so it's TGT picking the side.
All right, and I think that TGT is going to go for Team 1 first.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. A reminder.
Yes, TGT starts as Team 1.
A reminder that teams will switch sides on the second half, so TGT will play as Team 1 first, and then Team 2 on the second side of the draft because they chose Team 1 first. There are certain advantages and disadvantages to Team 1 versus Team 2, namely that Team 2 gets to watch Team 1's runs before they do their own runs, which allows them to sort of maybe decide what they're going to do, and that's why it's so important that both teams get to play as both Team 1 and Team 2. All right, we're moving into the draft now. What bosses are you expecting to see from each team, Johnny?
From what I've played against TGT, they are very strong on those damage checks, right? Their characters are very optimized for damage check bosses. So I'm expecting definitely to see some Serpents being drafted, or maybe a Simon to be one of their priority picks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I've noticed a Simon is like a really common pick for TGT. It's a pretty general DPS check. But they do also, both teams like to play into some more difficult, more annoying bosses that can kind of kill you. But here comes a Simon. All right, I guess we called it.
Well,
and
okay, going
here
into
comes BLG with Copelia. Wow.
Okay,
really
another damage check.
Another damage check, but also if you don't kill this boss very, very quickly, Copelia can be very aggressive and can easily kill the team.
Exactly.
Yeah, it looks like BLG is maybe playing more comfortably and going for easy DPS checks like Ruin Serpent.
Ruin Serpent coming in.
And maybe BLG is going to go for the more aggressive still DPS checks. Enka Bishops. Yep. Oh, they're definitely playing aggressive. This is a great boss for Nouvellette. A very aggressive boss. Right now, this is looking like quite a good Nouvellette boss list because you have some of the more aggressive DPS checks. Nouvellette can heal himself. Ruin Serpent, it makes this boss draft not as good for Arlecchino since her bond will be reset. And TGT picks Gold Flame. Yeah. This is also a bit more aggressive.
I think these 3 bosses in a row just kill Arlecchino's viability a lot in this matchup.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We'll maybe see like a drop in priority for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Enka Bishop's also being a bond reset, and Gold Flame being pyro resistant makes this a really difficult matchup for Arlecchino. However, Mualani is definitely good here. Nahita's pretty good here. But
Nahida
TGT
ban
takes
coming in
out
from
Nahida.
TGT.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I know that Nahida and paired with Varessa especially is a very strong pick for Team 2. And Farina is taken out by BLG. Farina is a very strong first pick. You especially want to prevent that Farina Skirk team that is extremely strong. I definitely see Nuvolette being a pick here. Bennett teams are also pretty good. And I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna play. I think
We have
Mualani.
four actually very straight DPS checks.
Yeah. Yeah, you can play a lot of teams here. I know that BLG loves to play Mualani, so I'm expecting to maybe see them try and keep that Mualani open so they can get her. And TGT bans Bennett. We're left with Nuvolette, we're left with Arlecchino, and we're left with Mualani as some of our main DPS checks. We also have Mawika. If BLG bans too aggressively here, they might end up with a difficult team as Team 2. So I wonder what they're gonna ban.
I'm personally expecting a Mualani ban. I think letting Mualani roll on this boss list is just very difficult.
That would make sense. And they do ban Mualani. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So TGT, I would expect to first pick Nuvolette here. He is very good on all of these bosses, and they do.
And a Nuvolette pick.
What is BLG gonna go with? I'm not sure. I mean, Varessa is open, Arlecchino's open, but she's not so good on this list. Mawika. I do know that BLG likes to play their Mawika, but I wonder what they're gonna pair her with. She isn't good on Gold Flame, but she is quite good on Incapacious. And Kazuha.
Okay, so picking up an option for the Mualani team.
But the Mualani team is banned. I do think
that's true.
I wonder if the Kazuha was intended to be paired with Mawika and the team with maybe Ganyu, or if it was meant to steal from Nuvolette, because Nuvolette Kazuha is such a strong duo with quite a lot of options. Like, you can play Varessa, you can play Hu Tao, you can play Clorinde. I wonder if BLG is going to go for Yelan or Ganyu with Mawika, but those teams can be hard to execute. Okay.
Chaska also very strong with Nuvolette.
Absolutely.
Do we see an Electro third pick, maybe?
And they take Arlecchino. That's very
was not
interesting.
Expecting that.
Me neither. And BLG picks Sitlali. What are they gonna play? Are they gonna play Kazuha, Sitlali, Mav and run some sort of melt team? Or are they gonna pivot into something else? I know that BLG has a lot of C1 Sitlalis, so I wonder what they're cooking. It looks like TGT is actually playing a very conventional, sort of comfortable DPS team with Nuvolette, Chaska, Arlecchino, and BLG are the ones cooking something. And BLG bans Varessa, that makes sense.
Varessa ban, yes, taking out the best Electro option.
Yeah, that was a good ban for sure, since I know that TGT could have flexed her in on some of those bosses where Arlecchino isn't as good since she won't have Bond. But this is quite interesting. I'm so excited to see what BLG is cooking.
I think that TGT probably took Arlecchino just to lock in the first two bosses.
That's very possible. And TGT bans Shilonen. That also makes sense, as Shilonen is good with Mav. Yeah, for that fighting spirit.
Also thinking out a healer option for BLG's side.
That's true. That's true. TGT definitely does have the more comfy team, I would say, right now.
Okay, the Escoffier coming in for BLG, so they do want to take a survivability option.
But that's so interesting. Are they pivoting? Are they going to cook something with Sitlali and Escoffier? I'm not sure what they're picking.
Yeah, it's a very weird first part of draft, but I can definitely see TGT taking the Skirk now, just for denial.
That's true. I do wonder if the Escoffier was to deny TGT from playing Escoffier on Gold Flame, since they only have a Pyro team right now, or if they're intending to cook something with Sitlali. But TGT still picks Skirk. Yeah, that is something that they like to do. They do like to. I think that TGT has tested out Skirk quite a lot and has found a lot of bosses where she works even outside of her optimal teams. But I do wonder what sort of team they'll be playing.
Yeah, and she is like a pretty good substitution for Arlecchino, especially on Gold Flame as well.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, I do think Skirk Nuvolette could definitely cook. I actually played a game the other day where I played Shenhe with Skirk, so there are quite a lot of things that you can play with her. And they take
Ayaka. Okay, so just denying every single cryo option for BLG, so they can't make a lot of use from that.
They can still take Ganyu. They can still take Ganyu, but
okay.
Escoffier, Yelan, Ganyu is not going to perform great. The thing about that TGT team, if you're playing Nuvolette, Skirk, Ayaka, Skirk and Ayaka both have Ton of front load.
So they
Okay.
wanna really deny the taser comp, but is TGT really caring about that at this point?
I don't know.
I
I
think they
do know
just
that
wanna do
Rion.
taser themselves with the Kazuha and the Elan.
The Kazuha and Yelan. I do know that Rihanna is known for her Chlorine, so maybe it can cycle, but it can be quite difficult to cycle in a lot of Kazuha teams with Yelan unless your carry is very, very strong. But I am excited to see this performance to see if they can easily cycle their bosses with just one Yelan ult, because I know that Yelan does tend to suffer if she has to double ult on a lot of bosses. All right, so
TGT also
yeah.
getting the Ganyu, they have a very solid mono cryo option. I
They
think
do.
Gold Flame is absolutely destroyed by Skirk and Ayaka, and they even got the Ganyu with her Constellation 1 just
Yeah.
reducing that cryo res.
I think that
Very strong
Skirk
team.
Ayaka with such front load and Ganyu with her potential to buff can definitely take out Gold Flame very, very quickly. I see them taking that boss. I think Nivelette is so good on this lineup, but BLG has Malika, who's also quite good on stuff like
Yeah,
Bishops.
that's very good.
I mean, I just don't know exactly what BLG will be playing. Other than maybe that Kazuha Yelan Clorind team on DPS checks. But I do think, yeah.
The problem is
What were you
that
gonna
there are
say?
some aggressive bosses here, and BLG's only
Yeah.
survivability option is really the Escoffier, which
Or the
is not
Silali
very
with
good
Piander,
outside.
but
Yeah, but
yeah.
the Escoffier is not very good outside of the freeze teams, so she might be a bit detrimental to the teams that BLG plans to use.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I think we can take a look at the prep time for both teams. They're preparing to
Okay.
fight their bosses. Yeah, this is interesting. I really will have to see how BLG's teams perform because I'm not sure exactly how this Mawika Melt team it looks like they're trying out is going to perform. But I know that TGT's team is already quite solid on DPS checks, so it may be difficult for BLG to beat. And the fact that TGT got Nouvellette means that they're definitely competitive on some of the more aggressive and tricky bosses, but BLG is doing quite well on Ruin Serpent right now with
There's
this
a
team.
lot of damage, yes.
It took out more than half of Serpent's HP. It's knocking Serpent
Yeah,
out. Oh, it's
yeah, the
edging a bit
problem
here.
is, yes, exactly, like the Sit Lolly just ran out of uptime.
Yeah, that wasn't great. It looked really impressive, but then it fell off very hard. I'm not sure if it has enough sustained damage to actually deal with the longer DPS checks. And then our squishiest DPS check on this lineup, like one of our squishiest DPS checks is Gold Flame, which is pyro resistant. So although they do have double shred, do you think they can get through with double shred? But I assume that they just play taser there, right?
Yeah, they like it's interesting because I think that with a little bit of tweaking, that team does have the chance to one cycle the Serpent. But if they cannot get that extra damage in, then I don't think they can clear the boss fast enough.
Yeah, it just looks like it falls off so hard after the initial like ult duration that it's gonna edge super, super hard unless it's either like really well played or you get all your crits or maybe better optimized. I'm not really sure exactly what it might be reliant on, but any of those things could kind of cook the team.
Yeah, an interesting observation also. BLG started prep time by trying out the enemy's bosses. Meanwhile,
That's
TGT started prep time by solidifying their own bosses, going for an assignment prep run.
That's true. That's true. It seems like maybe BLG is already confident on the bosses that they picked with this team. And TGT needs to still make sure that they've got their own bosses locked in with their team. Maybe they're a little unconfident against that Mawika team.
Maybe
So
they're
we'll
also
see.
checking for like energy after the boss, so they can
That's
see more or
true.
less
That's true.
how energy rolls off in the posterior bosses.
It looks like BLG might be going again at that Ruin Serpent. TGT seems to be clearing this Copelia at a pretty nice time, but they're taking a lot of damage on Arlecchino. We'll
Yeah, but
see.
that's fine because it's Serpent after.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It is Serpent after. They can totally greed on Copelia.
Yeah,
You're absolutely
exactly.
right, Johnny. I completely forgot. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty nice then. They can totally greed on Copelia, and as long as they don't die,
the
they'll be
Arlecchino is a
fine.
very strong pick for those two bosses. Like, it could
Yeah.
be a very risky pick for the future bosses, but on those first two, I think the Arlecchino is very strong.
Yeah, I think they got it locked in unless BLG can really optimize this Mauve team, because if it's not really clearing on Serpent, I don't really see it clearing on, like, I mean, maybe it is enough to clear A Simon, but let's see.
TGT
Is
looks
it
like
not?
they were gonna use Arlecchino on the Fishaps though.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Ooh, and BLG edges again, but they kill it here. Okay.
Okay, so
All right.
definitely better than their first run.
Yeah, I'm not sure at this point if TGT will be able to win Serpent if they do end up playing that Arlecchino team versus the Mauve team, but it looked like since BLG didn't get that Mauve team right on the first try, I mean, can we guarantee that they'll get it right in the actual match? We don't know. Looks like the teams are getting energy now, and I love seeing unconventional team hooks. I always get excited when I see teams try something with Sitlali, the C1 Sitlali. That's a character that my team always has, and so I get really excited. Also has, so I get really excited to try the cook after the match. And
I mean, I'm
yeah,
a Mav guy myself, and I've never
yeah,
actually played like a melt Mav in ranked, so I'm very interested to see how it works as well.
yeah. Man, I should have pulled C1 Sitlali. Um, but
The
I
thing
know that
is,
this is yeah.
they did not test the Taser team whatsoever. So
You're
either
right.
they're very confident on this team, or they might just lose some bosses because of it.
Or maybe they're just playing it on Gold Flame. I'm not sure, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I was gonna mention that this is not the first time that BLG has cooked something interesting with C1 Sitlali. They did play a Arlecchino Linny mono team with Sitlali in a previous match. And it actually performed surprisingly well, but it's apparently pretty difficult to optimize, which I think might be the case with these C1 Sitlali teams.
Yeah.
All right, the teams are getting energy. Looks like Hope is on Chaska and Ayaka. They're having their builds checked. Day is on Arlecchino.
Arlecchino and Ganyu.
And Ganyu.
Makes
There they
sense
are.
with the C1 Ganyu.
And they're heading over to A Simon.
We have Foster on the Skirk.
Yes, with R1 and his
the
C1
Nuvolet, of course.
Of course, yes. I really wonder. I don't know if an Arlecchino with without bond here. I mean, she'll get some bond from the startup, but she's not going to be able to stack any bond at the beginning of A Simon before. I wonder if it can beat this Mauve team.
Yeah, the thing is, the first two bosses are very strong for Arlecchino, and they can just easily get bond on the start of A Simon and just keep the bond for the second boss.
Yeah, I wonder if they can front load enough damage with the Mauve team though. Actually, I don't know how much HP Serpent has versus A Simon. I'm gonna check.
The Simon should have a bit more HP, but
okay, let me take a look.
Okay, we're now going for the actual run, starting with TGT on a Simon.
All right, let's see how this Arlecchino team does. This is a very standard DPS team.
It's also a very safe team, very comfortable team to play.
Oh, I believe that A Simon and Rune Serpent actually have the same HP or close to the same HP, which means
it should be close, yes.
Yeah, we might be able to expect BLG's team to take out this boss the same way.
Okay, timer ready is coming in for TGT.
All right.
We have the Arlecchino walking forward. Okay, starting with charged E, pretty standard rotation for Arlecchino. We have the Nuvolet starting off without the E.
Arlecchino absorb.
Okay, we now see the Nuvolet full combo coming in.
All right.
We're gonna see full damage coming in. Very front-loaded damage there.
Ooh, this could clear under 20 seconds.
Very strong damage, and we got a 2077.
That's 20. That is a great A Simon time.
That was very good, actually. After the Nuvolet combo went in, the damage was just going and going. They killed it very fast.
That's great. I know that Day is known for his Arlecchino gameplay and build. I think he has one of the best Arlecchinos in the server when it comes to the build, so it shouldn't be a surprise that this team will perform that well on this boss. But can BLG keep up with this interesting Moika team that they've cooked?
Yeah, the problem here could be a difference in the time of the setup, because the Nuvolet setup takes some time because of the skill and the ult, but this team doesn't really need that much setup.
That's true, that's true. I really wonder.
So if they do have the damage for the one cycle on the assignment, then this could very well be a BLG win, yes.
That's true, that's true. And this is a team that will have to be watched out for in future matches. I guess it's another new team that a lot of us didn't know existed. But yeah, that C1 Sit Lolly can be quite scary, but one thing worth mentioning is that C1 Sit Lolly really benefits from running sacrificial fragments, so she can reset her C1 stacks, but if you take any damage on your characters, then you often end up having to run Prototype Amber, so she can actually fall off quite a lot. Alright.
So they're starting the assignment. Okay, we
There
got the
they
swirl
go.
on Pyro, very well executed.
There
Then
they
the ult
go.
infused with Cryo, and the
Ooh.
damage is so high.
This
might just be a complete sweet 15 second assignment.
Could that be a world record? That's really, really fast.
That was actually insane. The setup is all done before the boss starts, so
yeah.
They have a, like, the Mav just ults instantly as the res phase ends.
That was incredible.
They just start dishing a lot of damage instantly to the boss.
Yes. A very impressive clear from both teams, but BLG takes the win here with 15 seconds. I think that's competitive with a full bond Arlecchino, if not better. That is insane. Oh my god.
It was very, very strong.
Wow. Wow. I'm really scared of this team now. This Mawika Sit Lolly team.
Yeah, I think this first win for BLG's just completely shifted the expectations for this first draft.
Absolutely. I didn't expect them to be able to take away the DPS
Capelia starting for TGT as well.
Alright, alright. So now
they're going with
Arlecchino
the same team. Arlecchino has full bond, yes. Okay, the damage is starting very early on. Yeah,
okay,
it's already half HP at 12 seconds. It's very strong.
15, 16,
so they're still
I think they clear under 20 once again. But Arlecchino's a little low, she's got to be careful, and they clear at 20 again.
Okay, 2078. It's very similar time to the assignment.
Yeah. That's a
the
good
Arlecchino
because...
finished with ult, which doesn't matter since next boss is a bond reset anyway. But
the one thing I was thinking is that Arlecchino can't heal herself. Mawika can't. Now, Mawika hasn't taken any damage, but will Mawika have to play safer here, or are they going to just take the boss down? Is BLG going to just take the boss down before it even really gets to fight back, is what I'm wondering. Because if Mauve takes damage here, then they may have to run Prototype Amber on Sit Lolly, which will tank their damage on future bosses, and can they even cycle some future DPS checks? If they have to run Prototype Amber? Though maybe they'll sack a boss. Here they go.
Okay, the Mavwika ult was timed perfectly here.
Nice. 12. I think this just clears unless it falls off.
Wow. The damage is insane,
16,
actually.
17,
and the Mav...
It's falling off a bit. And
the Mav died!
She
dies. At the end. And the boss is edged, which gives the win to TGT.
And TGT takes this one away. All right. Each team is up one. It looks like they might be stalling to get energy, but Kazuha also dies.
And the Kazuha dies at the end. Oh, that's gonna hurt a lot.
Does this team even work if they don't have Kazuha's ult for the setup?
I don't think it does. They might have to sack Serpent just to get ults.
I mean, Mawika will get her ult because of Sit Lolly's fighting spirit, helping with fighting spirit, but Kazuha not having ult might completely mess up this team. That's really, really unfortunate. And I guess that is the risk of playing such an aggressive team here, is that you risk having almost your entire team die like that. All right, TGT is going with Serpent. I do expect that they definitely could take this boss, even though Arlecchino isn't great here, just because BLG might really struggle.
And knowing that BLG lost the previous boss, they can just comfortably play this boss.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's already a very Pacific boss anyway, so there's really not much to play safe on. But they can just take their own pace. They don't need to rush this boss.
Despite this being an Arlecchino team, it's still clearing at a pretty decent pace. This isn't bad.
Yeah.
I do think that it's the lack of Kazuha ult.
Okay, 28 seconds. 28 seconds is a very good time.
Yeah, 28 seconds is pretty good for Arla. That's nice. All right, BLG will have to play their best here if they can afford to, but it looks like they might be playing Escoffier for more cryo application on this boss. That is...
I think they just want a full heal for the next bosses. I think they realized that without the Kazuha ult, it's probably a lost cause to play the Sit Lolly team here.
That makes sense.
They're just gonna try to get the ult on the Kazuha.
Trying to melt All right.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like they're sacking this boss. And this is definitely going to be a TGT win here. But they're full heals, full ult, and they're just going to
Okay.
leave.
Just
Not
gonna
even going to
walk
kill
out.
it, just going to walk out. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, looks like Escoffier was a good pick here. They are able to sack a boss to heal if they need to. I'm so optimistic about the strange cooks that both of these teams are capable of that I really thought that they might have been cooking something with Escoffier. I was like, can they cycle with Escoffier? But no, I
No,
don't
they're
think
just
so.
they're just playing it safe. One thing about BLG is that they're very methodical, so they know exactly when they have to sack a boss to win the next one.
Yeah. These are two of the teams that I know I've noticed are some of the best at really planning things out, knowing when to sack a boss, knowing when you gotta go all in, knowing when to like semi-sack, play it safe but still kill. They're both very good at planning out the draft and really looking at it from like a wider perspective rather than just each boss, individually and not considering what's around it.
Yeah.
Here goes TGT.
Okay. TGT dropping in on the Bishops.
And this
Let's
is
see.
a great boss for Nouvelette because of his AoE. It is
Okay,
a pretty... Yeah.
Okay. The HP going down pretty evenly for the two Bishops. A little bit more on the cryo one. Nouvelette AoE is very strong here.
It's a pretty aggressive boss for Arlecchino, but she hasn't taken too much damage. Ooh, she's getting low, and so is Nouvelette. Will Nouvelette die? Ooh, they're both low. That's unfortunate. Arlecchino may need to ult here. They kill one Bishop.
Oh, this attack could be like
and Arlecchino uses her ult.
Okay.
All right,
So now the Arlecchino should be pretty safe. Yeah, they are going to be able to close out the boss.
Okay, 40 seconds.
40-second time.
Now let's see. They end with 40 seconds. Arlecchino's full HP, though she won't have bond for the next boss. Now BLG here is going to have to be careful because as much as Mawika is also great on this boss, it is also a very dangerous boss at times. And I do wonder how this melt setup will fare in AoE. We haven't gotten to see that yet. But I assume it should be pretty good given that we have Kazuha's ult, we have Sitlali's application.
Yeah, there is just the problem that the bosses move a lot in the arena. That could just screw their Kazuha ult setup.
Oh, you're right. The TGT team was extremely mobile, but this team seems to be best on stationary bosses. Let's see.
The Mav cannot hit both targets at once.
Ooh. The Bishops is kind of separated.
Okay, they're together now, so they're... Okay, they predicted the setup.
All right.
Okay. It's very smart by them.
And she melts them down.
And half the HP down with just the ult.
22, 23, 24, and it takes them out, and they've taken no damage, the entire team.
That was...
I don't know if, I don't know if Sitlali was running Piamber or not there, but that is an extremely impressive performance. 24 seconds, nearly half the time.
Yeah, they knew that their team had no mobility and had stationary setup, and they just prepared for it.
They waited, but they knew they could one-shot it if they just kill it in that one moment. Wow, that is very impressive.
Very good for BLG. Very strong performance.
All right, we're tied 2-2 right now. 2 for TGT, 2 for BLG, and this is a close match. It looks like, I believe, TGT may be choosing to sack this boss to get bond on Arlecchino.
Yeah, they could be doing that.
Or maybe semi-sack, just kill it with Chaska, and make sure they get Arlecchino bond, Chaska and Nouvelette. But let's see.
I think they're still, like... It's still worth completing the boss, because it's still they're still not gonna get a bad time.
Yeah, and I do think that BLG, that Taser team...
Okay, 22-70.
22 is pretty good, and Arlecchino has bond, but not full bond.
Still a nice amount of bond, should be enough for clearing Drake.
Yeah. What is the next boss is Drake, right?
Yes.
Alright, so she will have quite a lot of bond by the time they get to Drake, because it's got that startup time. Alright. Now we've got BLG going in. Are they gonna play this mob
with the same team? Okay. Okay.
Escoffier?
I think they're gonna try to compete for Drake time.
But why would they play Escoffier here? Their Malwika has nearly full HP, unless they're gonna try and play Yelan. Do they even have a full? I don't think they have a full team for, unless they play Sitlali, Yelan, Escoffier, perhaps?
Yeah, they're going in.
They're
So
going
yes,
in.
they are sacking the boss for the Drake.
Unless
They
the
want
Escoffier
to
does
compete
cook
on the
here.
Drake.
I don't
No.
think it does.
The
No,
problem
they
is
can't
their
clear in
full damage
time.
is coming from Mav,
Yeah.
which is
I'm really
just not
interested
working here.
This feels like an interesting choice because Moika was nearly at full HP, and I think the rest of their team did still have ult. So I'm wondering why they chose to sack this boss rather than playing the Taser team here. I mean, maybe they know that they can't win with the Taser team, and they thought it's just better to get Mav to completely full HP. Or maybe her fighting spirit stacks weren't entirely full, and I didn't notice. But yeah, that's very, very interesting. I still think maybe that Taser team could have cleared. But if Mav didn't have full ult, then...
Yeah, I mean, if the Taser team can clear faster than the Nuvalet Chaska team, I think they did the right decision on just sacking the boss.
Yeah, alright.
Okay. Getting
Here we
TGT
go.
starting on Drake.
Let's just open up Drake.
Nuvalet charge came in a little bit early.
They're killing this boss very quickly. 15, 16. Will it be sub 20? I don't think it gets sub 20 here, though.
Yeah, it's not gonna be.
22 seconds.
22:69 is still a pretty
That's
good
still pretty
Drake time.
But I think that if that Malwika team can DPS it down, if it doesn't fall off like we saw it do on that first Serpent run, then I do think they can take this win. I'm looking at the sheet now, and I do notice that I don't think BLG can actually play that Taser team because Clurin and Kazuha are on the same player. So that's why they sacked that boss. All right, here they go. 6 seconds. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
do they have
12.
the time?
I think they kill it here. I think there's no way. I think there's no way they don't. And that is an 18-second Drake.
18-second Drake.
That is very impressive. That is a
Wow.
very impressive time.
This team just keeps impressing everyone with every boss that they play it on.
Yeah, this is such an interesting double support team with Sitlali nonetheless. She's running sack frags and scrolls with the C1. That is incredible. I've only really seen these types of times with like Walani, with Skirk, some of the best Hu Tao teams and Hu Tao players, or perhaps a heavily optimized Pride team or Nahida Varesa team, but those teams are all much more difficult to draft. This team is so easy to draft.
Yeah.
And it's performing so well.
I don't think anyone would actually go for the Sitlali.
Yeah, I guess you gotta be careful of BLG's Sitlali. I saw them pick that Mawika Kazuha, and I was like, what are they cooking? Are they stealing the Kazuha from TGT? But it looks like they had a plan. And if they hadn't been able to take that Sitlali, then I think that they could have just taken Ganyu. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's tied up.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'm looking forward to the second half. But, I mean, normally the team that gets to play as Team 2 in the second half does have a bit of an advantage because they can see the other team's times first. And there have been times when a team that was, like, down quite a lot was able to completely flip it up on the second half. So when they played as Team 2. So, I don't know. Do you think that TGT can use that Team 2 advantage to take it away here?
They are definitely gonna use that to their advantage. I mean, even on this game, just seeing that BLG died on Capellia, I think gives them a very big boost of confidence on the Ruin Serpent. Even though they had the Arlecchino Bond reset going in, I think they just comfortably cleared the boss, knowing that 2 of the members just died on the previous one.
Yeah, absolutely. That really sort of screwed things over for BLG, because I think that Capellia time could have been quite competitive for them, but the deaths were really quite unfortunate. It kind of derailed their whole run a bit. A 3-3 tie is still a great place to be in. It is still very impressive for both teams because both teams has a very high chance of being able to turn it around. But I expect TGT won't let BLG get this team again, but what other high output teams is BLG hiding up their sleeve is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, especially because
Yeah.
since TGT, especially Day and Foster, they play so many casual games, they're very used to seeing the teams that are played in casual. But BLG does not have that luxury. They do mostly practice, and as such, they can just bring out teams that no one uses in casual, and just use that surprise factor to their advantage.
Yeah. I mean, I have seen TGT play some teams that certainly could have competed with BLG's times here. I've seen them play a mean Mwalani Kazuha before that got like 17-second Drake. I believe it got around 17-second A Simon, which would have competed with or even beaten BLG's teams in this match. So maybe they'll pull out they themselves will pull out a really high output team, which is also a luxury that they have as Team 2, because in seeing the other team's times, they'll be able to decide when they need to play it safe and when they can, play aggressive. But I am so curious to see what sort of cooks each team comes up with. Both teams really impressed me with their performance today. To see like some of these very nice clear times from TGT with such a conventional team, even on bosses that after like bond resets and seeing them, still clear that gold flame with 22 seconds was very impressive. And then BLG, of course, pulling out this insanely high output team, albeit very risky, as we saw. But I think that what's something that's so interesting about this match is it feels a little uncharacteristic. As you were talking about before, Johnny, I remember you mentioning that BLG likes to play safer, and I've noticed that TGT likes to play pretty aggressively. But it feels like they almost switch roles here in this match, I think.
Look,
which is so interesting.
it was very uncharacteristic for both teams. The fact that BLG drafted the Capelia, but then played a team that is extremely unsafe on Capelia, especially with their only damage source being the Mavuika, which needs to be close. I think that's what screwed up their first game for them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a 3-3, so they're technically tied up. And considering that the overtime is Drake, and they have such a strong performing team on Drake, is also a plus on their first game. But I feel like dropping the Capelia with the Mavuika death just cost them a possible 4-2.
Yeah, I think that is a good point, which is that BLG has locked in their team for overtime here, and TGT doesn't really have a team that can beat that. So TGT either needs to solidify their win before overtime, or they need to get a team on the second half that can beat BLG's team. And I don't know if they have one of those. The only thing I'm sort of thinking of is maybe a Mwalani team, or if they can grab a Skirk Premium team, perhaps they can compete with that. Maybe a really well played Nahida or Hu Tao team. But will BLG even allow them to draft those choices? I don't know. So I think TGT has to pick up that win early on. Or else, I mean, unless BLG messes up, I think they can easily take away overtime on Drake with that 18-second clear here. And reminder that Arla had Bond on their Drake, and it was a 22-second from TGT, which she won't have when they go to overtime. Does she have? Yes. Actually, do they allow Bond on overtime? They don't, do they?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yes.
No
yeah,
Bond.
they don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, no Bond Arlecchino is not gonna be very strong on Drake overtime, especially when everything's on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'm excited to see.
Okay. So we're gonna be going to second draft now.
Yeah.
I'm definitely expecting like a lot more unconventional bosses here.
Yeah, they drafted a lot of the regular DPS checks.
I'm expecting both teams to like lock into a certain archetype of teams.
I noticed that BLG before the match was threatening to draft Spirit Speaker, one of their signature bosses. We also haven't seen an automaton from them. We haven't seen a Geo Bishop. I know that TGT likes to draft cubes, Thunderbird. They also like automaton and eroded dragon. We haven't seen any of those bosses from either team, so I wonder if they're gonna throw some of those bosses into the draft, and we're gonna get to see something that's a little bit less DPS checky and a little bit more elemental check or survival check or Natlan check or unconventional.
I also think that TGT needs to really win this game, because if they go to a tie again, drafting unconventional bosses, I don't think they can get a good damage check team to do the Drake on overtime.
That is true, yeah. If they are picking a lot of checks and they pick something like maybe a Chevreuse team, maybe a Skirk team that doesn't have Farina, then I don't think those teams will be able to compete with BLG. So they'll have to play very, very smart here to make sure that they can lock in that overtime team, or make sure they can lock in a team that they will be confident will win all of the bosses. All right. I'm so interested to see what the drafters will cook up this time.
Yeah. I'm expecting to see a completely different game from the first one.
Absolutely,
Most of the damage checks are just gone now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only ones that are left are like Weena is one nice pick, and you've got like PMA, but PMA is also a bit RNG. They did get rid of several of the bond reset bosses, which is also interesting. Which means that unless the teams draft weeklies, this draft should be pretty strong for Arlecchino.
Okay, Primo Geovishap as the first pick.
Right. That is a BLG signature boss, a classic. Definitely one that I expected and hoped to see here. This is a boss that I think they practice a lot. They're pretty confident on, even though it can be rather aggressive. What will TGT fire back with? Are they going to go conventional? Are they going to go for a TGT classic, like maybe Thunderbird? Or will they pick like a cube, maybe an elemental check? I wonder. All right, and here comes their pick. They pick Knave. Okay. So instantly this boss takes out Arlecchino's bond.
Terrashroom. So another damage check.
Terrashroom. All right, we've got Knave, which is anti-Pyro and anti-Arlecchino as well. We've got Terrashroom, which is anti-Dendro due to its high resistance. This is looking like a good boss lineup for Mualani right now. And I know that BLG does like to first pick Mualani. I've seen them do it before many times. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they aim to do that. Yeah?
Yeah, but I think that's an angle that TGT is probably looking at.
Oh, absolutely. And
Automaton coming in for TGT.
Yeah,
okay, that's interesting pick. Going for a boss that they know the other team is confident in.
Yeah, I know both teams seem to be pretty big fans of Automaton. BLG takes PMA.
Coming in, yes.
All right, that's another. It's a DPS check, but you can also sort of get screwed over by RNG if you get really terrible RNG, or you can be greatly favored with even a sort of mid team if you get really, really good RNG. And then what will TGT pick last?
So, using all their time here.
Yeah. Automaton, I believe, is also good for Mualani. This is quite a good Mualani draft, although she can be a bit annoying on PMA.
And Animo Cube.
An Animo Cube, okay. It's one of my personal favorite bosses.
Just a burst check.
It is a burst damage check, yeah.
Do they plan on getting maybe a Skirk team here?
Maybe.
I mean, I've seen TGT drafting Skirk just raw without any of her usual team options, just to kill the Animo Cube.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that Skirk, like random Skirk teams with just one of her supports, can also be pretty good on Knave. I know that Skirk can be good on Automaton, though I don't know how her non-premium teams perform. BLG
ban comes from BLG.
That is quite interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I did not expect that. I expected TGT to get rid of Mualani right off the bat, but BLG, it seems, does not want to first pick Mualani. Maybe TGT was considering that, and now they have to consider their second ban, since they were planning to ban Mualani, perhaps. But yeah, and they take out Mawika. Mawika is also good here. Automaton is notably a bit of a Natlan check. It also likes res shredders, and it likes characters that can hit the pillars easily, like with movement abilities. One thing notable that I know that BLG does have is they have good Kenichi players, and they have a They have several C2 Emilys as well that can shred resistance. So I do wonder if they'll try and cook Kanicha on some of these bosses. Kanicha's good on Automaton and Animo Cube as well.
Okay, the Bennett
But they
ban coming
banned
in from
Bennett.
BLG.
So no Kanicha cook I think will be seen today. I guess TGT was so scared of that Mawika that they saw last time that they had to get rid of her. But what is next?
There's still a lot of like top tier supports in. There's
Farina
the Nahida
is open.
and the Farina.
Nahida is open.
There's also the Nuvalet open.
Nuvalet is open. Arlecchino is open. Arlecchino is fine here after Knave, but she's not amazing due to the bond reset.
Yeah, the problem is that to get bond on Arlecchino, you probably have to sack the Terror Shroom as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Which may not be ideal.
And that is a good boss for Arlo in general. I do think, I mean, TGT has to get rid of like Farina or Skirk here, right? Or else they're just either giving BLG Skirk premium or they're gonna try and counterpick by stealing something from it. Looks like the timer might be paused. Maybe we're having an issue with the draft. But I do really wonder what TGT is going to end up locking.
Yeah, I'll try to find out what happened with draft.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, seems like the Bennett ban is a wrong ban.
Okay.
They had him hovered, but they wanted to ban the Varessa instead.
Okay, all right. I can see that. So I think that we can find out if that Varessa ban can go through. It looks like the BLG does not have clip, so I wonder if this mistake will affect that draft significantly. This is not a bad lineup for Bennett, especially if they were going to play into the Kinich and C2 Emily.
Without clip, the draft will just resume as normal. So the Bennett ban is final. We're seeing a Hida ban coming in from TGT, so they're definitely looking out for the top tier support options.
Alright. Yeah, that makes sense.
However, the Farina is open.
Yeah. I can understand being scared of the Nahida because and they take Farina.
Of course.
First pick. I can understand being scared of the Nahida from BLG because their Clorind is also quite good, better than most teams' Clorins. Normally the scariest Nahida team is Nahida Varessa, but Rihanna is really known for her Clorind gameplay, so... And TGT takes the Skirk from the Farina! Alright, are they going to take Escoffier?
An Escoffier second pick?
And they take Effie! Alright, what will BLG do now? They can take Chaska, but no Mawika. They can take Yolande Hu Tao, but I know that...
Nuvalet
Hu Tao, but I know that they have a C6 Hu Tao, which might be of questionable viability here. What are they planning to play? Mawika is gone. I think they could play... I mean, maybe they go for that Hu Tao, but... They take Varessa.
They're picking the character they wanted to ban.
Alright, I'm not sure how this team will perform, but Nuvalet and Varessa is a strong duo that can perform well with a variety of supports.
Yeah, it is also a very comfortable team to play.
Ooh, this is interesting, is that now TGT has to decide what to deny from BLG, and there are a lot of things. They may need to deny that Kazuha, that Chaska, that Shalonen, and that Hu Tao, or even Arlecchino here.
Yeah, the question here is, do they... Okay, the Yolande coming in. Okay, so they solidify a freeze team for themselves.
Going for that Skirk team, and now it's TGT's ban. These are... Both sides have a team that I'm very interested to see how each side's team performs. But... And each team has something that it can be quite pivotable. I mean, TGT can pivot to like Yolande Kazuha with like Hu Tao or Arlecchino, and BLG can pivot, of course, to Kazuha as well here, or another Pyro. But TGT bans Kazuha.
Kazuha ban? That's interesting, considering they have the first pick after this.
That does help prevent BLG from pivoting with their Nuvalet Varessa into a Kazuha team, but it also means that TGT cannot take the Kazuha for themselves.
Yeah, I would assume that TGT would want to maybe bait the Kazuha ban or get the Kazuha for themselves.
Perhaps they're going to take the Chaska if BLG doesn't ban it out, since she can be pretty good here.
The
And
Ayaka
BLG
ban.
bans Ayaka. So TGT is free to take a support for their Yelan team, or if they want to steal from BLG, but I think that if they don't take that Chaska now, then BLG can pivot into another Chaska team. I mean, for Arena, Nuvolette Chaska is pretty good. Nuvolette Varesa Chaska can be pretty good. So
I feel like they need the Chaska though, especially with Automaton and the boss list.
I think if TGT takes that Chaska though, then they've got some options they can pivot to as well here. Let's see. And they take Arlecchino. Okay. So now they have Skirk, Escoffier, Yelan, Arlecchino. I guess it's true that if they did give BLG Arla, BLG could have pivoted to an Arlecchino Nuvolette team, which has a lot of supports that can work with it, including the C1 Lolly. But BLG gets that Chaska here.
BLG can also get the Shalonen and do something very funny here.
And they take that Shilo. All right, so now they have, if they decide to play Nuvolette Varesa, they have the Chaska and the Shalonen, which gives them a comfortable option for their Varesa, and they have that Farina Nuvolette core, which they can play with Chaska, which is also a good team. What will TGT take? Malwika is banned, so they can't play a triple DPS team with Arlecchino. They don't have Varesa for Varesa Chevreuse. Kazuha, Shalonen is banned. What will they take? They take
the
Ganyu.
Ganyu is interesting.
Okay. Will they cook like a triple DPS team with Linny maybe? Or what will they take? Or maybe they're gonna play the Ganyu with Skirk.
Yeah, their Arlecchino here is not very safe in this boss lineup as well.
No, and you've also got that Knave, which she may not perform particularly well on. But TGT does have a safe team as team 2 if they want to play it safe, if BLG messes up on some of their picks, but BLG also has a safe team. And they take that Linny. Alright. I mean, maybe Arlecchino, Linny, Ganyu is a team? And BLG takes Hu Tao. Now BLG has quite a lot of team options. They have Nuvolette Farina Varesa, they have Nuvolette Farina Hu Tao, they have Nuvolette Varesa, Chaska, and Shalonen. They've got, though that Hu Tao is, again, perhaps of questionable viability. I am very interested to see how Swazi's Hu Tao functions. And yeah, let's go over to prep. What do you think, Johnny? Let's talk about TGT's picks. What are you expecting to see from them on each boss?
From the bosses that I'm seeing, there's a ton of damage checks still.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see TGT just playing the Skirk team on most of these.
Yeah, I definitely think...
Arla, Linny, Ganyu.
I mean, does that team cook?
It can be a strong team on some bosses, but I don't see it being better than anything that BLG can cook with all of their picks.
Yeah.
Their teams are extremely viable and just... They have a lot of teams that they can cook with a lot of viability.
Yeah,
the bosses are all over the place, but the characters that they have can just fit into all of those.
Yeah, I mean, I must say I do think it isn't looking great for TGT unless their Skirk team perform, or the Arlecchino Ganyu, or, I mean, perhaps they're playing Yelan there as well. Team performs well above my expectations, just because BLG ended up with like 4 conventional DPS teams that they can flex into depending on the bosses that they're fighting. However, I do think that TGT has the advantage on Animo Cube for sure. I think there's no way they don't win Animo Cube. I think they have the advantage on Knave. Perhaps. I know that Skirk, I've seen very impressive times with Skirk, like Farina-less Skirk teams on Knave, and they do have that Effie. And I mean, Terrashroom is a great Skirk boss. It is rather squishy. Automaton can be great for Skirk, but how will this team perform without her signature team, you know?
It might actually just come around to the same thing that happened to a Simon last game, and just the Nuvolette, like the build-up to the Nuvolette damage. Like, with the time that Nuvolette needs to skill and then burst, the Skirk team should have a pretty hefty advance in time.
That's true. The Skirk teams have like no setup basically, and all of BLG's teams have setup time, and then Skirk is also a really, really front-loaded unit. And there are some squishier bosses on this list, so I definitely think that maybe the Skirk team will take it away by sheer front load. If you'll notice, both bosses are cycling Geo Bishop to get the correct element.
This is why Geo Bishop is a very, very unsafe boss to draft if you don't know the element of the boss beforehand.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because now both teams just wasted most of their prep time just cycling Geo Bishop.
I think.
And there's no guarantee that they're gonna get the right element.
Yeah, they might not get it in time. We're like 3 minutes and 30 seconds into prep time, and it looks like the teams are still resetting to get that right element. Let me take a look at the bosses. We have Geo Bishop. I think a Geo Bishop can be pretty aggressive, and both teams do have a safe team. So I do think that both teams could have an equal chance on Geo Bishop if that Skirk team performs as gives off an impressive performance. Knave? I think the Skirk team could win Knave. I have faith. I have faith in that Skirk team. From TGT. Terrashroom, I think, could be a toss-up just because it's a great Skirk boss, despite the fact that BLG has, you know, a wide variety of teams. They also are teams that need setup. Automaton... I think Automaton might be BLG.
I do not see TGT winning Automaton.
Yeah. PMA, I think, has to go to BLG, and Animo Cube, I think, definitely goes to TGT. So I could see this ideally being another 3-3, in which case I think TGT simply loses overtime. Or, I mean, honestly, I do think it could be a 4-2 here in BLG's favor.
And TGT having to do another run on Primo Geo Bishop.
Will they get the right
so
element?
They are it's gonna be a bet. Can they get the right element, or is it gonna change back into Cryo and they just did worse to themselves?
Hey, we've got Geo Bishop and we've got PMA, both are Gamba bosses. This is a gacha game. It's time to gamble.
The problem with gambling is that TGT's team selection is not varied. They just have the freeze characters and then the Arlecchino and the Linny.
Yeah, that's right. As long as BLG doesn't get a Hydro Geo Bishop, they're honestly fine. I think they can move around their team distribution to allow for a variety of units to be played. They get the wrong element. Looks like the teams are getting energy now, and we'll have to see how this plays out.
I'm interested to see, because it all will come down to just how well built the Skirk team is.
Yeah. I do know that Foster is definitely one of the primary Skirk players in casual queue. He's got her weapon. I'm not sure if he has her signature set yet or if she's just on Marichose, but I think you definitely want her signature set in this team since you don't have Farina. So I'd hope that he has a good set for her. And then I do know that Day is also known for his C1 Ganyu as one of the units that he plays relatively frequently, along with Arlecchino. And so you definitely have good players with good builds on units that they're used to playing from TGT.
Seems like TGT got a Pyro Bishop.
Oh, okay.
Which works very well in their favor.
Looking good for them. But what does BLG have? I think it looks like... I'm taking a look at the account distribution here. It looks like we have Swazi on the Farina and Shalonen, Lin on the Nuvolette and Chaska, and Rion on Varese and Hutao. I'm not sure if this is right in the sheet, but we'll see.
Okay.
I would assume that it would be Swazi on that Hutao, but perhaps they're not planning to use the Hutao at all, and they're just playing Varese here? Alright. Swazi is playing Hutao and Varese, Rian is playing Farina, and Lin is playing Chaska and Nuvolette. So it looks like they're going for the Farina variant of their teams, which means I think we're going to be seeing that Hutao.
The Farina just works so well with their other characters that it's it's such a valuable pick here.
Alright, I am excited to see how C6 Hutao performs. I believe that she requires some setup. It looks like that she is fixed. And it's BLG's turn to go. All right.
Yeah,
The team
our
is
check
ready.
coming
Checking.
in.
Let's see. Checking for weapons.
So an R2 Aqua on Chaska.
Ooh, okay.
Very bougie.
It's a dedicated Chaska player right there. And it looks like, is this a Cryo Geo Bishop? I think maybe they're switching accounts here based on what I see as someone has left the world. Is this a Cryo Bishop or is it a Hydro? It's Cryo, right? I think it's Cryo.
Yeah, it's Cryo, yes.
Okay. All right, here comes Swazi back. I'm totally blind.
Okay.
Either switching accounts or updating showcase. Are they playing Chaska Varesa Farina here? I've never seen this team before.
The C6 Hu Tao coming in.
Yes, yes. But Swazi's on Varesa here. They're pre-lowered, as is the norm for Farina. And here they go. How will this team perform?
They do have a good element on the Bishop.
This is definitely favorable for them. They're healing up with Farina, but Swazi is already low. And okay, Farina's healing. Looking good there. Everyone's at full HP. They're running away, though.
First rotation is over. They didn't do a lot of damage.
Oh, there was a rough element issue, it seems, for Chaska. So I think they may need to restart their run. I'd hope that that was the case, or else this may end up being a pretty big issue. But yeah, it looks like there is a ref element issue here.
Yeah.
An error, so they're gonna get to restart. Yeah, alright.
Yes. The ref should be on a Cryo character.
Alright, makes sense.
Just to not give the Hydro Resonance to Farina.
Yeah, that makes sense. Looks like they're getting energy again. And then they'll restart that boss. But BLG still has to go first.
We have a bit of stall here. But actually, like, this match is just literally gonna be decided by the Skirk. Can the Skirk actually clear those bosses? Can she not clear those bosses fast enough?
And we didn't really get to see during prep because they spent so much time killing Geo Bishop.
So now BLG is just getting energy again. Because we know that BLG's teams can perform. We just have to see if TGTs can perform better than BLG.
Yeah, but I wonder how that Varesa team is going to perform. I've never really seen it played before in League, I think. I mean, it makes sense if it was pretty good, but it is... I know the Farina Taser teams are often not that great. However, a lot of Natlan teams, especially with just scrolls on Varesa, can have interesting synergies. And this is definitely going to be a team I would like to try out if it ends up performing well for BLG. Yeah.
Especially with the Chaska. Chaska can be such an RNG character. Like, sometimes she just doesn't do anything, and the other times you're just left wondering what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Her times can vary quite a lot. Although, I think that this team shouldn't be too much Gamba with Chaska because there's no, like, vape or reactions like that they have to worry about.
Really important reactions, yes.
Yeah, that would make sense, but I am curious. I don't even know what a good time for Geo Bishop is exactly.
Yeah, it's not a very usual boss. Because a lot of teams don't like to waste prep time just switching the elements.
Yeah, I almost only ever see it drafted by BLG.
Yeah, honestly, when BLG picked the boss, I thought that they had checked the element beforehand, so they didn't have to waste time on prep. Because that can be such a powerful strat to force the opposing team to just waste time on changing the element of the Bishop.
Absolutely. They're going in. It looks like maybe the Farina went in a little bit early. Not sure there. This team does seem to be performing pretty well. However, they are a bit low.
The Farina
up.
Could
Here
heal
comes
up
the
the
shield
Chaska.
phase. Can they survive this attack? And they
the
don't.
Farina
They take
died!
Farina out. Ooh, that's going to be detrimental since Farina really needs her ult. Oh, did Swezzy die too?
Oh, and the Varessa died as well.
Oh, this is really, really terrible
And the
for
boss was
BLG.
so... It's very edged.
Yeah, very much edge. 48 seconds. I think TGT can absolutely beat this, and this will completely screw over the next couple of bosses for BLG. Yeah. That is a really, really unfortunate mistake. Oh, no, Farina ult on Knave is terrible too.
I wonder why the Farina didn't just go into healing mode as soon as the shield phase started. She was half HP and just didn't heal up.
Yeah, maybe out of stamina. Alright, TGT is going in with the Skirk team. As long as it performs pretty well, I think they're definitely able to take away this boss. This boss does have setup time, though, so they don't benefit too much from their quick
Skirk
setup.
being very patient. Okay, damage starting to go in.
This is a very comfy team, but the damage is not... Oh, the damage is not too high. Though I think they can get it. I think they can get it.
Yeah.
We're at
the
nearly
boss was
30
very
seconds
edged
now.
for BLG. Okay, the Skirk is gonna need a second rotation. As expected.
31 seconds.
Yeah.
Alright, 34.
The Bishop does have a
They've got 10
higher
seconds
HP
left.
pool.
And they kill it in 40 seconds.
Okay,
That's
40
another win
seconds
for TGT. Alright, they're full ults. I think there's no way that TGT doesn't win this Knave, not only because they have Skirk, but because no Farina ult for BLD is really, truly unfortunate on this boss. Yeah. She's going to have to run really high ER, though she does tend to have to run high ER here anyways, but they're going to be lacking quite a lot of damage at the beginning of this boss.
This is very tragic for BLG.
Absolutely.
We thought they were going to play for the safe game, having a new Vlad and the Farina as a healer.
Yeah, and they still managed to die there, even though they did have that safe healer team, perhaps because of their aggressive choice of bosses. I mean, that is what happens sometimes when you draft aggressively. You always take the risk of, you know, it sort of slapping you in the face, and it seems like that's what happened to BLG here.
Okay, Knave is starting
for going BLG. In. Let's see. Now, I have seen unconventional teams perform pretty well on Knave, and I do think that this team seemed to be doing pretty well on GeoBishop.
Okay, they are still running the Varessa on very low HP.
Yeah, she is at half right now. Will she go down again is my question, or will they be more careful here? We're at nearly 30 seconds. Farina is in healing mode. Swezzy is still not full HP. Oh, and Farina is low. Farina is very low.
Oh, and the Farina is not on healing. Okay, the healing mode going in, finally.
Alright, they heal
and going into damage again.
This is a difficult attack to dodge. You've got to be really careful here.
The Farina is changing very frequently between healing mode and damage mode.
Yeah, which means they'll really lack damage. I wonder if the Farina can end with ult here too. They're at nearly 1 minute and they're only reaching the second half of the boss cycle here. I think there's no way that TGT's team doesn't beat this. Let's see. We're at 107, 109. Alright. This seems to be performing pretty well on this second phase. They're taking it down. The 1:15 time. I do think that is a pretty good time for this boss.
They do all get out of the boss alive.
They got out of the boss alive. Do they have ults though? Did you notice?
I did not, actually.
Okay. We'll have to take a look. But I do think TGT can certainly beat this. They definitely picked up the pace there on the second phase. Now this boss is notably a little bit more difficult to play with Escoffier since she doesn't have completely on-demand healing. She does need to use her ult, so Hope will have to be careful here with her Escoffier ult usage to make sure she's timing it when the boss requires healing to clear Bond of Life as well. Alright, TGT is going in. They still have... They still have a relatively competitive time to beat, but I think the Skirk team can do it. Here they go.
Yelan does get the ult. We're seeing a lot of damage coming in from Skirk.
This is a lot of damage. It's over 1/4 of the way. Oh, it's at half HP in less than 20 seconds. That is really impressive. This is great pace, really great pace from TGT on this boss.
We're just waiting
They've
for the
got Bond of
second
Life is
rotation
here,
here.
but does Escoffier have ult? It looks
If
like
the-
they're full HP. It looks like
If
they're
the
fine.
damage comes up the same, then they will just finish this in
I
2
think they
rotations
absolutely
with the
win
Skirk.
this boss. 40
Yeah, okay.
seconds.
Second phase going in.
42 there, like 10 seconds, nearly 15 seconds ahead of BLG. One thing here is, will Yelan finish with her ult in this team? Can be difficult.
Does
Now
the
we're
Skirk
approaching 1 minute.
rotate the second phase?
Okay, we're at half HP. There's no way they don't clear the rest of this HP in 15 seconds. I think they take this away. 4, 5.
And okay.
And
oh,
but she teleports and they still clear it in time.
Okay.
All right, that's
1 minute,
1 minute,
8 seconds.
8 seconds. Nice. That is a great time from TGT.
Yeah.
Yeah, with such an unconventional team as well.
And we can see that not having ults really cost BLG this boss. Because it was just a 7-second difference.
And if you'll notice, Farina does not have her ult on this boss either.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is also going to be unfortunate.
Which is very bad. Their setup is already long with the Nuvolat's skill and ult, and without the Farina ult...
And here they go. Swazi is low. Drained for his
The
Hu
Farina
Tao,
ult still hasn't come.
And there it is.
And the Farina gets
lets
ult?
off her ult. Gotta be careful here on Swazi. He gets healed up a bit. We're at 15 seconds, 17 seconds.
That was very far away from the boss. Okay, she gets her E.
1/4 of the boss's HP is still left. I believe Nuve got staggered. I think this doesn't even clear in sub 30. 31 seconds.
31 seconds.
All right, I think BLG absolutely loses this, if I'm going to be honest with you, Johnny.
Yeah.
And Yelan has ult.
Yelan does have ult.
And Skirk's ult will be fine.
And that's all they really need on this boss.
That is another win for TGT. They only need 2 more wins to take it away, and I think they can make it. I do see this potentially, honestly, being a second half sweep from TGT, which was completely unexpected, but that mistake on the first boss from BLG really, really sort of hit the nail in the coffin for them this match. It's really unfortunate.
Which is weird. BLG, on this entire series, they've just been giving the advantage on their own bosses.
Yeah, I have noticed that they tend to drop so aggressively, and usually that's what causes the other teams to really wipe, or they just out DPS the teams, but they got to out DPS TGT on the first half, and then on the second half, when they played more aggressively, they simply died to their own bosses.
Yeah,
all right.
TGT is just not letting go.
Oh, Skirk takes this down. Her front load is amazing here. We're at 10 seconds now, and she has already taken away over half of the boss's HP. I think they could get sub 20 here, if not just 20. Okay. And they do. 18-second Terror Shroom.
Very consistent damage all throughout the boss.
This is great. Yeah.
The Yelan was doing miracle work on this boss.
And this team is performing above my expectations. I'm very happy to see such an unconventional cook from TGT. I guess that on both sides, we actually got to see each team cook something a bit unexpected. You've got a Skirk team without Farina. And you've got a Malwika Kazuha Sitlali team. Both teams very innovative drafting. And the ref is struggling here a bit to get to the right spot.
Diona almost got cooked twice.
Diona almost falling in the lava. No, Diona! Be careful! Alright. This next boss is Automaton here. Now, BLG does have the advantage with Natlan on this boss, which allows them to cycle it quicker, and Farina does have her ult. So I think this could be where BLG picks it up, but TGT only needs 1 more win.
Yeah, and there's still Animal Cube on the line.
There's 3 bosses left. I think they take Animal Cube. I think TGT just wins this. But let's see. They've almost cycled this boss already.
Yeah, BLG does have 2 Natlan characters. If they can just switch like one of them per pillar, then I think they just clear this boss in a very fast pace.
Absolutely. All right,
they already
here goes
took it to almost half HP before the pillar phase.
Shaska seems to be struggling to get up, and there she is. They take it down.
The Varessa did take the 2 pillars.
34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40
And
seconds.
40.
Now, I have seen Skirk Premium get similar times on this boss, but can Skirk Escoffier Yelan keep up? Is my question.
It was definitely a little edge towards the end. I think the damage just stopped halfway.
Looks like
Maybe
TGT is deciding
the
whether they
Chaska
should play Yelan
time.
or Ganyu. Perhaps, yeah. I did notice that Chaska seemed to take a second to get on her E. Perhaps her E was on cooldown, and she wasn't able to get on it in time to take the pillars down. But this Skirk team just has to cycle. They just have to kill it, brute force.
In my opinion, the Ganyu would be better because this boss has such high resistances, and the C1 Ganyu can just really help with that.
That's true, potentially, but that Escoffier is already helping with the resistance. However, it looks like they might be deciding to get ER and sack this boss, which does make sense since I think there's no way they don't win Animo Cube. I think all they need to do is lock in that Animo Cube win and they're fine. But maybe they're going to try for PMA and ending this match early. I think they could do it with favorable RNG. And I think they might go for a full ult on Skirk here.
Yeah, exactly. If they just get full ult on Skirk, then I think they can just guarantee the boss.
Yeah, I think they can... I mean, honestly, I think they could really probably just bulldoze PMA. Like, if you do enough front-loaded damage to it, then it'll just get into its cycle and you won't have to worry too much about RNG. I wonder if their front load is enough to just not have to worry about the RNG in the first phase too much. Looks like they're just getting ults.
They just got away.
And leaving. That is a 9-second DNF. Impressive DNF time from TGT. And that marks another win for BLG.
This might just be a world record.
It is 6-3 currently, I believe. 6-4. I think they still need to put in the win. Yeah, it's 6-4. Here goes BLG on PMA. Let's see how this team performs on a more standard DPS check. 13 seconds. Ooh, and it flies. It slams down. 19 seconds. 20 seconds. All right, the boss is phasing.
Yeah,
We're going to the
very easy boss to dodge. Oh, they get good RNG. Excellent.
Good RNG. All right. Let's see.
So they are gonna be able to finish the boss pretty quickly here.
This should be a good time.
Yeah.
39 seconds. All right.
The question is, does TGT want to contest this? Because Skirk on full ult can just wipe the boss.
I think it might be worth. I mean, I don't know if Skirk can get full ults at the end of this boss as well. Perhaps, because it does have sort of 2 phases. But
once again, they do have the advantage of being Team 2. They can just look at the time and just decide what to do. And they can actually change their strategy in the middle of the boss if they see that they can't beat the time.
That's true. I think maybe that would be the best play from TGT here, is seeing if they can beat it, and if they can't, they just get Skirk's ult, go into Animo Cube with full ults, and guarantee the win. But I honestly don't know if any team can really beat Skirk on Animo Cube. I don't think that anything that BLG has
precast his ult here.
Ooh,
so
all
they're
right.
definitely gonna try to go for it.
They're expecting to take it down, and they're dealing quite a lot of damage, so they get hit with the very aggressive sword attack. However, no one goes down, and it flies. But I think this will cycle perhaps a bit quicker than it does for BLG. No, I think it's the same timing. Can they kill it quick enough? Let's see. 27. They have 10 seconds left. 32, 33. I think they kill it. I think they take it away.
They do.
35.
35.99.
35.99.
Okay.
And that is a win for TGT.
TGT wins the first semifinal game against BLG.
Congratulations. That was a really fantastic performance. Oh my god.
Very good game for both teams. TGT coming out on top.
Yeah, that was very well played. I loved seeing the unconventional cooks, and TGT finally got their revenge on BLG after being sent back to the 3rd place. Next season, TGT will be moving on. This is very, very exciting. All right, I think we can invite the teams in here to talk about the game. Congratulations to TGT for making it to finals. And let's see if anyone from TGT or BLG wants to come and talk about this game.
It was a very, very back and forth game on the first draft. The second draft was way more TGT sided. Really shows the expertise that they have with Skirk.
Yeah. I think that they definitely they let that Farina through, and then they took that Skirk knowing that they could win on this boss lineup. And even though, I mean, I really thought that BLG was going to take it away, but because they just had so many teams, but that Skirk team was just really impressive, and it was consistent. That's the thing about the Skirk team, is that it did perform very consistently. And BLG, they had one small mistake in that first boss, and it seemed like they really never recovered, which is very, very unfortunate, but that's what happens when you draft aggressively. Yeah, no, this was really a great match.
Like, I've seen TGT, at least Foster and Day, just getting that Skirk counter pick. Oh, hello.
Hi.
We got here
Hey,
3 members from BLG, Swezzy, Lynn, and Cuddles.
Hello.
So, how are you guys feeling about the match?
Yeah.
A little bummed that it didn't pan out, but I mean, overall, I think we tried to play as best as we can, and we didn't win, but at the end, I think we put up a really good performance. I was really happy to see that we were able to showcase that we've been sort of gatekeeping in the closet for the past 2 months.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, that's good to know.
I'm sure a few people, maybe some listeners, maybe some other people around the ranked Discord server have heard us talk about the team, and well, but
was that the team? That was the team.
That was the team. We were waiting for that. I'm so glad we got to pull it off.
Yes, that was an amazing performance. Yeah.
I will say, I think Team 2 draft was a lot harder to. Oh well, not Team 2. Like the draft 2, where we were Team 1, was a lot harder to draft around. I feel like.
Yeah.
The thing is because I wanted to switch back to the Varessa, so we were hovering Varessa initially, but then we were going to switch to Bennett, but then we ended up wanting to go back to Varessa, but then Sight, I think Sight glitched out, but we didn't have evidence, so we just played it out as it is. If Bennett was open, I feel like we would have left Farina open, and then probably would have taken Bennett later for the other bosses that we would have prioritized on. And
you would have left Farina open? Would you have let them get the Skirk premium team?
Well, the thing is, we still would have let Farina, we would have first picked Farina, and then...
Okay, you would have taken her, yeah. Alright.
But it's just, now that Bennett's in the picture, it's like, I think we could have worked a lot more with that.
Much more pivotal, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, look, it happens, it comes and goes, we popped off a lot on the bosses we wanted to pop off on. Copelia was kind of unfortunate. Geovision was really unfortunate, and I think it also just came down to the DPS gap and all that. But I mean, overall though, I'm glad we were able to put up a good performance. In my opinion.
Yeah, I also see that your biggest mess-ups were on bosses that you guys drafted yourselves.
That is very interesting, yeah.
Do you guys think that it was maybe a lack of recent practice on those bosses, or is just the nerves of being on a big stage?
Unfortunately, people got busy IRL. Yes.
Oh yeah. So I think one thing that's been touted is that BLG is this team that practices a lot. I think we get together for 2 hours at most.
Oh,
because
okay.
It's actually I've just not recently been in the picture at all. That's why I wasn't playing today. So I didn't make a single practice today, and kind of things happen.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Yeah, I guess that sometimes the lack of practice does show, but you guys still put up a really, really great performance with that Mo Wicked team. That was really impressive. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the best $200 I've ever spent on Kazuo. Dude,
$200 got us 3 sub 20 Drake teams.
Yeah, it's 3 of them. That's the best part. So I kind of expected Mav was gonna go bye-bye in that second draft. It is what it is. Yeah. So things just happen. I think that's the best way to describe it. But yeah,
I think we can turn the mic over to TGT. Day, Hope, and Mina are all here. How are you guys feeling about this match? And congratulations on making it to finals.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. Can someone please drag Foster in?
Okay.
Yeah, Foster's here. All right.
He's
Hi,
here.
Foster.
Hi, Foster.
Hi, Foster. I was saying congratulations. yeah, how are you guys feeling? Are you excited for finals? You finally made it? You got further than you got last season? Mina says, if you talk Foster, I talk.
I was expecting, like, I knew we had to win 4 bosses to the second place because we are going to get mocked in the Drake overtime, so we had to end the match early. I remember we had, like, no plan for Team 2. We were like, we want to trade something because we don't really have, like, a overtime team yet. And then there was, like, Nikita and Bennett and Farina all still on the table. We know that, well, we decided to just go for, like, FE show bosses because we know that, if, BLG first picks Farina, we're just gonna, get the FE Skirk and then mug our own boss, mug the bosses that are good for them. And, so I remember, like, I was, like, hovering everything and I was, like, because, like, we didn't really, like, plan this out that much, I was, like, so worried that something is gonna happen and whatnot, and like so I'm glad that as a team we pulled together, we put up a good fight, the strats worked and everyone played really well, and overall I'm just glad that we made it. And this is our first time winning semifinals, and
yes,
so it is quite an occasion for us. And
Okay.
Yeah, we're just super
the star
excited
of the
to have
show
gotten
is
this far.
definitely Foster's Skirk, so yay.
yeah.
Okay. First of all, congrats to you guys for making the finals.
Thank
And
you.
I also have a question for you. On that first game, I can say that at least me and Eliza were just jumping off our seats every time that Sitlali team just did an insane time. How were you guys feeling seeing those times going into the sheet?
Yeah, those are
Dude,
some
I
great
was
times.
freaking out. I
We
was
were
thinking
shocked.
like, you can go.
We were just like shocked that like this team snuck up right under our noses and we didn't even like see it coming at all.
Yeah. No, I would not have like expected that to be something that you have to deny in draft, because I didn't expect it to be able to cycle even the like higher HP type bosses, and then it did.
Dude, I didn't think so too. Like, I heard something about like a team being cooked, and like I think Bobo mentioned that C1 Sikonali needed a nerf. But I wasn't sure exactly what we were facing until I saw those times. Like, those were bosses we expected to win. It's like, holy
What did you
shit, what is
think?
this?
Like when we, when we were drafting, like when we drafted that comp, like we were like, oh, is this the comp BLG was hiding? And like,
Dude, we fully expected to lose in overtime.
Yeah,
It's insane. It's really insane. Props to you for pulling it off.
Yeah,
That's what
thank
we
you
were
guys for making that amazing
theory crafting as
comeback.
well. Like
yeah, that was a really good comeback. I think the skirt comp, like that was definitely like a thing that, oh my gosh, I did not expect it to be like, to pan out as it is, and like,
Yeah,
yeah.
you were
I
right.
think
Those
none
were
of
good
us-
FE bosses.
I think none of us expected the Skirk team to perform as well as it did without Farina, especially on the DPS checky bosses. Like, those were some solid times on the DPS checks as well in the second half. I mean, I definitely thought you guys would take Knave and Animo Cube, but I wasn't sure about Terrashroom completely. I wasn't sure about PMA, but TGT, you guys took it away. This is truly the revenge of the century. But yeah, I mean, very well played by both teams. Very impressive times from both. I loved seeing your guys' unconventional cooks on both sides. This is really fun. This is a very, you know, cutting edge draft with new teams that a lot of us players haven't seen before, which is very, very exciting, because Johnny and I were like freaking out because we had no idea how some of the teams would perform, and we were like, how's the Skirk team gonna go? Because like I know how like the LGS teams will perform here, but like how good is the Skirk team going to be? And then on the first side of the draft, we were wondering like how the Moika team would perform, because we know how well, you know, TGT teams are going to perform. And so it's so interesting because you guys also kind of like flipped sides almost on both sides of the draft, and you both had a side where you played something a little more conventional and something where you played something like really new and interesting and fun. And so it was a very, very enjoyable, a spectacular show from both teams.
Also, we won the conflict. That was quite
Yes.
amazing.
Oh my gosh! Yes,
That
congrats
almost
on
never
winning the
happens to
conflict.
us.
Yes, yes, yes.
Anyway,
For
I'm
those
glad
who,
that we put on a good show for you guys, and
yeah,
it's indeed cooking.
Yep.
yeah.
I
it was
also have a
indeed cooking.
message.
fun match.
Everyone cooked. Yeah, the cook-off of
Was
the
indeed fun.
century.
I'm also just glad I got to play Arlecchine.
Yeah.
All of the Q regulars knows what's up.
Yeah, and that's a good question. If TGT wins coin flip in finals, do they win the whole tournament? True. Good question. Good question.
Surely we win again.
Surely
also
you win.
For TGT, who do you guys think you're going to be fighting in the finals?
Probably PXL.
Eevee.
Oh, shucks.
Eliza. Foster?
Was that Foster?
Yes, I thought it was.
Foster manifested himself.
Foster unmuted to say VV. Yes! Yes! Yeah. All right. Well, a reminder for those tuning in that the next match is my team Pixel versus VV. That will be on Sunday morning. And the winner of that match will go up against TGT in finals, and the loser will go up against BLG in the third place match. So it's a very, very scary matchup for both teams. And congratulations, TGT. You guys deserve this, and I'm so excited to see what you guys cook next. All right. Any finishing thoughts, Johnny?
I just want to say this was a very, very good match. Very strong performance from both teams. It's definitely worthy of being the semifinal. I'm expecting to see more matches like this on the other semifinal match and in the finals. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing more of TGT and Genshin ranked in the future. And
Absolutely.
That's all.
All right. I think that's all for today. Any last words? Yeah.
I have a final message from Rian, who couldn't make it in, but she just wanted to say thank you to TGT for the amazing match and congratulations on progressing on to the finals, and good luck to her old team.
Yes. Good luck, TGT.
Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it, and this was truly a semifinal to remember.
All right. Well, thank you so much for attending this match. Remember to tune in on Sunday and to tune in next week for our finals game and our third place match. All right. Anything else, Johnny? Are we finished?
Yeah.
Are you ready to say bye? All right. Then goodbye and thank you for coming, and we'll see you around.
Bye, everyone.